Karen, and welcome back to Empathic Sight, where I talk about wellness, self-care, and navigating the world as a blind or low vision individual. So, one thing I want to talk about today is self-doubt and comparison. We all do it. It all happens. It's that little voice inside us saying, you're not going to make it. You're not good enough. You're not going to achieve this. You can't overcome this. It's that little voice that tells us we're not good enough. So how do we let go or break free of that self-doubt? So self-doubt is a very common thing. Everyone has moments of comparing themselves to others or feeling like they're not good enough. This is very normal, and there's a few reasons why it happens. So a lot of the time it stems from our past experiences of being compared to others or feeling like maybe we've been compared to others. So sometimes with siblings, it's why can't you be more like this person? Why can't you do better? This child never has this issue. So having those kind of comments, and they're not as common anymore, but in my generation of growing up, they were a very commonplace for children and youth. So those kind of past experiences and social expectations can really amplify those thoughts of inadequacy and just feed that self-doubt gremlin, I call him, that's in the back of my head. Another thing is social media. So social media amplifies that level of perfectionism. So the perfect garden, the perfect body, the perfect meal prep, the perfect organization tools, the perfect parent, for example. That's another one. So they amplify that, and we also have to remember that social media shows the highlights. So most of the time when you see these posts, you're not seeing the mess after the meal prep, or you're not seeing a parent break down after having those perfect moments with their children, right? We're all human. We're all going to have those moments of whoops. And that's where that self-doubt comes in, when we start to compare ourselves to what we see online. For example, me, I struggle because I follow meal prep things, and my kitchen's always a mess when I do it. And I can't get my meal prep down to 1 hour, and I feel like, oh, I'm just a failure. Why do I bother? That's something that I need to work on and let go of that self-doubt, because I have my struggles just like they have their struggles. And like I said, you don't see the mess after the camera gets turned off. So here are 5 tips that I found that can help you to avoid that self-doubt and avoid comparing yourself to others. So the first one is focus on your strengths and your progress. Every one of us is different. I was going to say individual. Every one of us is different, and therefore we all have our own journey. We all have our own progress. We all have our own goals. We have our strengths. We have our struggles. And so why is it okay for us to compare to other people if they don't have those struggles? Or maybe we have strengths that they don't. So it's always a good idea to focus on what we need for us and what our strengths are. The second one kind of stems off of the first one that we just talked about, and it's avoid comparing your life to others. So we all have our things. We have our strengths, we have our struggles, we have the barriers that we have to overcoming those struggles, and every single one of us is different. So why compare ourselves to other people? I'm thinking of my sister and I. We always compared ourselves to each other. She had children. I went to university. And yet we both felt in some way that we were missing out because we didn't have the other person's life. But we had our own struggles. We had our own lives. And they just went in different directions. And we were both happy. So the next one is kind of a way to reframe those thoughts, is replace the negative thoughts with empowering ones. So let's take my meal prepping struggles. I say, oh, I can't get it down to 1 hour. I'm a failure. No, I'm doing it. It may take me twice as long, but I did it, and I feel good about doing it, and I can meal prep for myself for the week, and I feel great about that. So just a tidbit before this list is done, I'd love to hear something that you have reframed for yourself. Taking a negative thought that you have, which is often called a thought distortion, and turning that into an empowering thought or affirmation that you can use for yourself. So the next tip is set realistic and personal goals. So remember that maybe getting my meal prep down to 1 hour is not a realistic thing for me because I have the vision issue. So that can be something that I need to remind myself that I do have struggles that other people may not. And therefore, I need to set goals that are within my realm of capacity. And that's okay, because we're all individuals. And the fifth one is surround yourself with supportive people. So a while ago, I did a video on building your support network. So surrounding yourself with those people when you're making these goals, when you're striving towards something, will help you to remember those positive, reinforcing affirmations that will get rid of that self-doubt and get rid of that comparison. I actually have a quote here from Theodore Roosevelt, and it says, comparison is the thief of joy. So if you think about it, if we're happy for something that we're doing, and then we start comparing to someone who's doing it better, it takes away from our feeling of accomplishment, our feeling of joy. So comparison is the thief of joy. I really think that quote really resonated with me. So just remember that your worth is about your growth, not about other people's opinions. And if they have those negative opinions, maybe they're not the kind of people you want to be around. Self-doubt shows that you care. It shows that you care about you and about others, but maybe instead of having it as your self-doubt, turn it into a form of motivation to keep you going. So now I want to hear from you. What's something that you have done recently that boosts your confidence or quiets self-doubt? Leave a tip or an anecdote or a story in the comments down below, and I'd love to hear about it. Let's support each other and get rid of those self-doubt gremlins, which, I like just calling them gremlins. Anyways, leave a comment down below. Please remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.